I'm the Great North Witch. This is the aligned path, and today I'm building a witchy water fountain. Let's go. Welcome back, witches. We're working on my witch's fountain. So first step is empty out this extra water. And I'm going to paint a protection rune on the front, right in this space here. I'm painting the Norse rune Algiz for protection and connection with the divine, but you can paint any protection rune or sigil that is personal to you, or maybe something for luck. The theme I'm going for with my witch's fountain is protection, so that is why I chose this rune in particular. Next, it's time to grab little odds and ends from around your house to help decorate your fountain. I made this pentagram, a protection jar, a protection sigil with 2 nails, and a little cluster of feathers. From living on the East Coast, I have a huge collection of shells, so I chose out my favorite along with some driftwood, and I let them soak in a bowl for about 24 hours before I use them in my fountain, just to make sure there's no salt on them. I used simple acrylic paint, craft paint, to paint my sigil, so I am going to seal it with this Fusion matte top coat so that it doesn't wash off in the rain. I also like the Minwax polyacrylic top coat, but just use what you have on hand. Okay, while that dries, I'm going to prepare my hanging things. So I made this pentagram wreath. I made another video about it if you want to see how I made it. And also my nails. So I'm just tying them onto strings so that we can attach them to the pot. Now this step took me a second to figure out how I was going to get them to stick. First, I just tied the string around it. Obviously, because of the shape of the pot, it is going to fall down. So I went in and grabbed my Gorilla spray glue. You could use any glue, probably. I was also thinking about using my bottle wood glue, but spray glue dries really quickly, so this was actually a good choice. And I'm just spraying on my first string to kind of tack it into place at the right height where I wanted this little binding of jute to be. There is no purpose for this, except that it looks really cute. Well, and it does hold my protection ward of nails. These nails are super heavy, so I used the string that was attached to the circumference string, the string that the nails are actually attached to, and I pulled it upward and glued it down underneath because it's going to be bound underneath. But that, I thought, would give it a lot more structure and make sure that those nails don't pull down on our bindings. Okay, while the glue is still tacky, I just started wrapping my jute around. Wrap, wrap, wrap. There's no rhyme, no reason. I did tie the first 2 ends together and kind of sprayed some extra glue as I went around. I tried to kind of keep them stacking upon one another and then added a few crisscrossy pieces to give it a bit of texture. We don't want it to look too perfect. I kind of panicked because you see my jute has a little knot there, but I thought that felt very authentic. I wouldn't worry about it if I actually had a cottage or a farm, and that's kind of what we're going for, right? Dark academia meets cottagecore. Dark cottagecore. Other cool words. Okay, I just tied it off with the string from the beginning, put a little glue on top, and it's time to move on to the next pot. Originally, I thought I would put this pentagram on the large pot as well, but it just seemed like it didn't have the right balance of asymmetry. Do you know what I mean? So I decided to go with this little weathered terracotta pot. that has a little paint on it. And I think it's cute. Same practice. Tied it, sprayed it, wrapped it, tied it again. I did do one wrap of the jute underneath the pentagram or wreath, whatever you're doing on your altar, witch's fountain. That just provides a little bit of support to keep the wreath from pulling downward. And a tiny little spray just to squeeze the strings together. And our pots are done. Now it's time for plants. Shout out to my husband for coming to the store with me and choosing out all these amazing plants. I found a bag of marbles in my craft studio. And I'm using a Poposoap solar powered water fountain for this project. It comes with a bunch of different fountain options. You can make it taller or shorter. It has different like sprays. This kit came with 2 extra filters plus 1 already in the filter pump. And then there's the solar panel. So it comes with a little stake that you can drive into the ground so that you can put your panel where it gets the best light. And the cord is really long too. I was impressed. This solar panel is hefty. I have a different solar panel pump for my wildlife pond, and it is not nearly the quality of this one. Okay, so first we're going to use one of the fountain options just to see what it looks like. This pump has a little water detector, so it's not going to run dry if your water happens to drop below the pump, so it's not going to burn the pump out. I connected a few of the tubes together to get the right height for the fountain, and now it's time to build. I'm using the driftwood, some shells that I've gathered over the years, and I'm just strategically placing a few of the shells to help cover the pump, but still allow water to flow through. I'm throwing in my marbles, but you could use river stones or pebbles, whatever you have on hand. I'm placing random shells all around, mixing in different pieces, different sizes, different colors. There's no wrong answer. There is nothing you need to do to set up the solar panel except for plug it in. You can use the stake. I'm just using the pot to hold it up right now. Haven't plugged in my hose yet, so I'm just filling my fountain with a bowl from the kitchen. Moment of truth. Ta-da! Yay! It was nice to see the fountain option, but what I really want to do is make a waterfall feature using the shell. The shell has a hole in the top of it, and I'm using the clear tubing that came with the kit to create my own water feature. Need about... I'm thinking I put it up here somewhere. I put it there, and it like out. I have to go myself a little extra. I took that extra piece off because I don't want it to go as high. Okay, let's see if I stick it there. I'm gonna have to fix all my shelves now. Thinking something like that. Obviously, this hose needs to be fixed a bit, but... Give it a little test run. Ooh, that's cute. Do we think that's cuter? What do you think? So I'm also going to put some plants in the water. But let's see if I can redo this with a shorter string and see how it looks. Shorter tube. Okay, so if I could put this actually back there. Off. It's already got a hair in it. Okay. So if I move all this. And put this back here. And then this is going to come this, so it'll go straight up and have good pressure. And then into our shell. Is this our shell? This is our shell. So like there. Let's cut it there. See what happens. Okay. Here's my shell nozzle. That goes like, oh, it's still too long, eh? The pump has suction cups, so I'm just pressing it down to stick it in place. Okay, so we need like 1 centimeter off. Do we test it before I reset it? That's cute, right? Is that cute? It's cute. Oh my god, David, is it cute? This is just me rearranging it how I see fit. I kind of try to make it look like it fell naturally that way, if that makes sense. The shell cover there. Perfect. Okay, let's get our plants in our pots. So here's a little sneaky trick. This plant, or this planter, has some soil in it, and it's almost at the exact level I'll need to plant this coleus. Coleus? So just take your soil and put it around the pot. Okay, so I have a little divot now. And I'm just going to gently squeeze the bottom. Ooh, her roots are a little tight. I'm just going to really gently loosen those up. And she goes. We want to make sure her prettiest side is forward. Good. And I think for this one, I'm going to put another plant in the front. I'm just going to go inside and get one from one I grew. I'll put a petunia in there, I think. This one's called Redhead. Now, I just try to separate these roots outside the pot so that when I squeeze it out, they each go through their separate hole and don't tear off. If I didn't separate these roots first, they would just like all rip off. Yeah, look how pretty that is. So I grew these from seed. These are the Dream Wave Apple Blossom, which are not wave petunias, by the way. Let's go seeds. How we looking so far, guys? Not bad, not bad. Okay. Have that little one spilling out a little. I'll just Betty, too far. Scoop a little extra dirt in there. And let's do this one now. This one is called Main Street La Rambla. Adobo Pink. So the back pots, I'm putting tall flowers in. So I'll give you an update later in the summer on those. Okay, we have one more pot left. Those are looking great. Sorry, sometimes I hear rustling in the woods and have to stop and listen for a sec to see if it's a bunch of squirrels or if it's a bear. Luckily, Betty, my little kitty, she's out, but she is super duper well trained. And when I say danger, she runs to the house. So, look at how beautiful this is. This is called Ostaspermum Tradewinds Sunset. Look at the color. So let's do our droopy flower first. This pot's pretty low on soil, so. Oh, a worm. Oh, 2 worms. And a centipede. Well, we'll leave the worms. 3 worms. Great. Good job, guys. This is Mini Famous Nemo Coral Flash Calibroca. Brocao. Brocoa. I don't know. Make that shit up, I think. Okay. And I have this. Do we want to put a 4th flower here? There. And then that. And then that. 4, it's weird, right? Oh well, we're putting 4. Let's do this little one first. Look at the roots. Oh, look at the roots on her. No wonder she was so thirsty. Okay, that should be good. Look at how loose that is now. Oh my gosh, this is cute. And I love a good spiky. I think every garden needs a spiky plant. They just add so much. They're zinnias, like the plants you grow inside, but they just add so much more character and structure and texture to the garden, especially if you have like all petunias or all like nasturtiums or something. They just add a really, oh, maybe I should pull it back a bit, eh? Are you throw it in the pot and walk away kind of person, or are you more of a make sure it's facing the right direction and exactly in the right spot in the pot kind of person? Okay. I'm gonna keep all the tags for them, but I'm just gonna tuck them down into the crevice of the pot so you can't really see them. Okay. How's it look over there? Because it looks pretty good from back here. So I think I'm gonna put this piece of driftwood there. What do you think? Maybe it needs a smaller shelf. This one here. This one right there. That's cute. Okay. So I think I'll end up putting 2 more pots here. Does that look more balanced now? Okay. I just need to go get another shell for in there. Okay, I brought out a few more shells. I'm thinking this here, maybe? I think that's the one I like the most. I'll spread these 2 out. Maybe just down here. I also made this, so I'll set that in here for some extra height. A little witchy vibe. And I have a labradorite moon, crescent moon. Do I set it in this? Should it go there? Or should it go in the water? Oh, I like that. And that. And I also made a little protection jar, which I think I'll just, where do we want to put it? In here? In here? In here? Like that? That's cute. This is my progress update so far. I still have a piece of lumber edging my garden there and some empty pots, but it's looking pretty good. I forgot one more thing. Every witch needs rosemary growing at their front door. I planted this rosemary from seed back in January. Oh, look at those roots. There's also a rogue thyme in here, but I'm gonna leave it there. Okay. Clean up. And my very last finishing touches, a horseshoe for good luck. I'm gonna add in, I'm gonna keep them in their test tubes for now, but eventually I will put them right in the pond. Just some propagation of pothos, whatever you want to call them. Cute. And a little shell to hold some pennies. And there you have it. My witch's fountain turned outdoor altar. You can see in the back, I made a new wattle fence. You can check out my video on that and keep an eye out for related videos, the pentagram, the protection bottle, as well as an upcoming video where I cleanse and protect my door, finish up my door wreath for this front step. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the cool projects I am doing. And I apologize for how many times I said my fountain was cute, because it is, but my bad.